My team and I have worked on understanding the relationship between dynamics of information perception by people and evacuation decision making during the event of an impending hurricane. As we know, the amount of kind of information we see all around us prior to the onslaught of a major disaster, such as hurricane, can greatly influence us, especially if that requires taking a major decision of evacuation. From a policy-making perspective, broadcasting the correct type and correct amount of information and understanding the public response during such events of emergency becomes crucial. The stakeholders here are not only the residents of the evacuation region, but also the evacuation management agencies at the local and state level, whereas media agencies can act as effective enablers. Many studies have established that information provided to the public, especially official evacuation notices, can substantially influence the evacuation rates as well as other decisions as mobilization times, departure time, travel mode, etc. But the dynamics of information perception, and the focus is dynamics, which are especially relevant during a drawn out natural hazard like a hurricane, are seldom studied. And this is the inspiration. This inspired us to work on this project. We captured this change in perceived certainty of seven evacuation related decisions of 1,020 residents of the Jacksonville metro area through an online survey. We created a hypothetical scenario of a hurricane based on Hurricane Matthew of 2017, which hit Jacksonville in 2017. We then provide the respondents three kinds of information to them in a loop representing 5 days leading to the landfall. And this is a hypothetical scenario, but we did make use of the information and tweets, news and tweets, traffic simulation, forecast map pertaining to Hurricane Matthew. And these three kinds of information include a forecast or cone of uncertainty map, an animation of the traffic simulation, which was created by our team, and a selection of news pieces and pertinent tweets. And we made sure that the information becomes gradually more serious and more certain as the hurricane approaches landfall. We also allowed the respondents to make a final decision on any day they think that they have sufficient confidence to terminate the remainder of the loop. Based on this survey, we performed survival analysis using this termination criterion, and we observed that 85% of the respondents made their final decision on day one, reflecting a high certainty even without providing any information. We found certain patterns relating to income, age, and the longevity of stay at the current home, uh, with in relation to the certainty about whether to evacuate and which place to go. And these are just two of the seven decisions we had captured. Noting that certainty builds over time based on scene information, we model this dynamics with a deterministic one-step autoregressive model. We used people's personal demographics, household characteristics, and previous experiences as descriptors of information-seeking behavior. We tracked the time spent by the respondents on each of these three screens corresponding to the three information sources and used its logarithm as a measure of the information sought. It turns out, as per our model, that previous experience of a hurricane, house ownership, and the number of seniors in the household are important indicators of decision-making certainty. Also, we see that while news and tweets are relevant source, of uncertainty, traffic simulation map did not affect them much, and this makes sense given that they may not assign evacuation time congestion much importance given the other things, the higher important things at stake. In conclusion, we conducted a novel kind of survey which tracks people's progress of their certainty of evacuation decision making given progressively changing hurricane related information. We show that the dynamic information provided to potential evacuees improves their certainty with descriptive information such as news pieces and social media activity showing significant influence. We also found that certain relevant personal characteristics such as age, income, house ownership, and previous hurricane experience in greatly influence their base and progressive certainty. Still, the fact that 85% people decided to evacuate after seeing the first day information limited our analysis. We seek to remedy this in the future by reconsidering survey design. With this study, we hope to provide insights to policymakers about people's decision making behavior during hurricane evacuation programs and bridge the gap of limited understanding of the dynamics of this decision making process in relation to the information provided to them. Thank you a lot for listening.